Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of Farm Simulator here in EU4. Specifically with the MEIOU taxes mod. Yeah, we are going to be investing a lot in farms. I finally figured out the map mode as I said in the last episode, and it tells us, or gives us a better idea of whether or not the province actually has available farmland. I wonder if this works on other nations too, because it would be useful to know which of my colonies I could invest in. I mean, yeah, you can see the... Okay, actually, no, the farmland... I mean, I have been investing into the farmland in this area, but... Fisheries, forestries... Yeah, there's some other stuff that I haven't invested much in. Yeah, I'm not actually able to see where the trade flows here. Yeah, I still haven't... I've been rather lazy and I haven't, like... checked all of that, but I think we should be able to see if trade is being... or, like, how the trade goes here. If we look at more interesting goods, exotics, commercial, blah blah blah, yeah, exporting. Tolzan, I have no idea where these places are. That's the issue. I'm actually importing from Tunis. I suppose it's cheaper. Luzon. Okay, but you can see here though, we're actually importing Luzon, that I know, that is in the Philippines. So you can see here that we are importing exotic goods from Luzon, thus giving us glorious trade power. And just, you know, fulfillment of needs. Delicacies, yeah, that's produced in Europe, so that's not super interesting. Commercial... oh wait, are we still not getting... I mean, actually what I should be doing is a census to see how things are going with goods fulfillment. I think it's industry. Yeah, we're producing enough food. Salt is good. Fiber is fine. Fuel is not good. I suppose I haven't been investing in forest for a while. I've been focusing too much on farmland. Same with raw materials, which I guess also comes from forests, I think. Well, that's one of the sources anyways. Our delicacies are being fulfilled, but exotic good not at all. Why? Oh, am I not... Right, I'm not actually selecting... I'm not selecting every possible province, am I? All owned provinces. Here we go. Let us now see what the census says. Whoops, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Industry. Yeah, here we can see that we really are producing more than enough stuff. Still not doing too hot on fuel though. I'm sure we can import it, so I think we're all going to be fine there, but yeah. Okay, but interesting, yeah, we are definitely producing more exotic goods, but it's still not actually enough. And that's not to say that, like, that might not necessarily mean that it's even being traded to the areas that it needs to be. We might not have enough commercial. But yeah, all the other goods are good. I still want to invest in farmland, but this is good to know that we certainly need to get our forestries and... What was the other thing I needed? Feck. Oh, it's not gonna... Okay. Yeah, fuel... I mean, fiber is not great, but fiber comes from farms, right? So that'll sort of be... Yeah, raw material. We just need more forestries and exotic goods. So and luxuries, yeah, that's a big one. Wherever we have luxury production, we need to up that. Presumably by investing in industry? Well, we do have we have gold mines now over in the Philippines, so we could potentially invest into those and then hope that those... Because I do think those produce luxuries directly. Although primarily they just produce money directly. And because this is 100% autonomy, I'm not sure we're going to get any of that. So if anything, that's just going to make the local nobles super powerful. So it might be better to try and work on finding wherever we had luxuries in France itself. Like luxury cloth and shit like that. Actually, can I do a glorious map mode for that? Economy, luxury output. I mean, I guess we can do selected provinces. Man, I do not know. Exponential regular, sure. That's what I did for the farming one. I still don't understand any of this, of course. Yeah, right, okay. So I suppose this shows us that, yeah, the vast majority of provinces don't produce any luxuries. Which is probably a mistake, because they probably can produce them. I don't know what the exact requirements are, but yeah, you can see our marble mine here is the main producer of luxuries, while the occasional bit of luxury cloth is doing well otherwise, or is providing goods otherwise. So yeah, definitely need to continue investing in this, unless it's already been invested in as much as it can. Yeah, that mine can't actually get any bigger, so there is no good way for us to get more luxuries from that. This mine can do with a bit more investment though, so we'll do that. Although, actually, I have no idea what kind of luxuries are... Oh yeah, no, it's marble down here too. We are... Yeah, God knows if it's... Okay, yeah, yeah, we can see, okay, what's being produced here? Okay, that's... No, that's gems. Spices. But that's an exotic, I think, not a luxury. Rare metal, right. There's supposed to be gold. Yeah, there's gold and gems here too. Are those mines just not very well developed, perhaps? Oh no, they're barely developed at all. Well, even if I don't earn any money on it, just having actual luxuries being produced to fulfill the demand would be good either way. So I might invest. Although I want to check actually how many luxuries are actually produced by gems and shit like that. Because I don't think that's the primary thing you use gold mines and gem mines and stuff like that for. Yeah, I checked it, and indeed the production of luxuries from gold and stuff isn't massive. I invested a bit anyways, but still. See, what I really need to get my hands on is silk or China ware, but... Okay, it's not actually just China. It could be potentially traded from Vietnam. I assume Vietnam is already doing silk. Shouldn't you be doing that? Oh, 5 urban development. He isn't, and my relations aren't great, so trading with him isn't happening a lot, I assume. He's a tributary, but are you like a hardcore tributary? No, I could totally invade Vietnam if I wanted to, if I could get a CB, that is, though. Which I'm not really in a position to get right now. But yeah, maybe a Vietnamese colony might be what we need. Now, I really don't want more of a border with the Chinese, and so we'll need to take down shit down here. But silk is a really good place to acquire luxuries. And looking at the continent, you can see East Asia. So Southeast Asia doesn't count. In other words, we can't get silk production going in this area. This is more for spices. So while I will be opening up a lot more luxury cloth wherever I can, we won't have a huge amount of that available. So we will have to think about securing land here. Subcontinent Indochina. Assam, Cochin China. Yeah, so all of modern day Vietnam essentially can gets an exemption to the normal ban of Southeast Asian silk production. Yes, Khmer, you are sus indeed, and you must give me your silk. Okay, we can actually see a bit of interesting stuff here in the trade screen thingy we have here, where we can get an idea of what kind of trade is actually happening. So I was looking around for luxuries, and I found a map mode that gives us an idea of where luxuries are being produced. And you can see it's mainly China. That's like the big boy, because he's getting all that silk production going. Oh, fuck. Oh, yeah, it doesn't let me change screen when I'm looking at some other dude. But yeah, trust me, it's China ware. But yeah, also Vietnam just isn't producing that much. That's an issue. I have been improving relations with China, as you can see, in a desperate attempt to try and access their markets. But they keep rivaling me, and so they don't want to be friends, sadly. And well, Japan actually produces quite a lot of luxuries as well. And if we look at the major center of trade over here and check the kind of trading going on, we can actually see that luxuries are indeed being imported from a bunch of places in China and from Japan, and is being exported to Paris and presumably then resold to other places in France that needs it. And so while we have indeed established a worthwhile trade connection that's supplying our needs, it is not good enough. You can also interestingly see that delicacies, which I think is like wine and various sort of goods produced in Europe, that's being imported from Paris to the Philippines and then exported into China. So that's how we establish some sort of trade balance, I assume. Although it looks like the actual total value of trade, yeah, the export of delicacies is bigger. Now, I'm not entirely sure what the whole unresolved thing is, if that just means trade that can't happen because there isn't enough commercial, I don't know what it's actually called, just commercial power. The ability, the established commercial networks of the burgers to actually do the trade, because your pops actually, specifically your burgers, are the ones who have to do the trade. If there are no burgers to do the trade won't happen. But this certainly, yeah, this gives me an idea. So if I could just, China, you're so dumb. Please be more friendly. I need your goods. So that's one way. Me improving relations with all of the boys in this area is indeed helping the luxury goods being fulfilled to some extent. Now there are luxuries being produced quite a lot, it seems, over here. Now I assume this is ivory. What do you make? Oh no, this is gold. That's why these guys are making luxuries. Yeah, but all the Africans hate me too. I have been improving relations with them, although that's a while ago. We still have some positive relations. I mean, as long as you have above 100 and above minus 150, and as long as there's no blockade going on, you should be able to. You can't trade with them. You can also enforce your ability to trade with them by making them transfer trade power to you. Whether or not that gives you a certain amount of trade possibilities with them, or if it gives you just a complete openness to their markets, I do not know. But yeah, improving relations with these lads seems relevant to us. This is where this is where our trade flows in this region. I suppose this is actually the biggest trade node. Yeah, I need to be upgrading this stuff more. Oh yeah, there's actually a city here and whatnot, but I've not been building anything here. I need to actually remember to do that. I should do that right now, actually. Before I forget, get amenities, get a port. Yeah, there's definitely potential for trade here that isn't being done because we have no harbors and no amenities. The fact that 5,000 residents are vibing here, despite the fact that we have no amenities for them, really says something. So let us give them some infrastructure. Well, I think I'm actually going to do harborage for... Yeah, no. Man, I just need both. But let's start with amenities, just to make sure those urban pops there don't go anywhere. Whoops. Also, parallelism of 10 is bad, I think. I think you're supposed to have 5. I think that's like how many units of building is being built at once, and if you have too many, then there's too much labor demand fucking with the wages of the local province. But yeah, I'll deal with building out such infrastructure off screen, I think, but it would be interesting to see what kind of trade is being done here. Specifically in those goods that I wanted. Yes, we are importing luxuries from, yeah, the nation on right Denjiki, eh? Oh yeah, that would be the province. So yeah, we're importing from this guy and exporting to this guy, but not sending it to our own place. Which I suppose makes sense. I'm not sure this trade node or this trade center is actually big enough to be able to trade with other stuff. Trying to wrap your head around exactly what the trade center can and cannot do. Intersector trade. Yes. Yeah, every sector in the same node. Yeah, okay, so... Yeah, the fact that it's a minor trade center means that you can't actually trade with other sectors, I think. Huh, I always thought it was also neighboring nodes, but it seems that isn't actually the case. I thought as long as you had... I mean, do we even have any proper... I mean, I captured some stuff from the Spanish, so once this place gets up and running, we will have a important central trade which can trade with every neighboring important major or dominant center of trade. All sectors in neighboring nodes if the province owner has a province and trade post. Yeah. So this trade center should in theory eventually be able to trade with these guys. But yeah, establishing an actual important trade node here would be valuable actually, or capturing one. Because they can buy luxuries in this region, but they can't actually sell it to Paris, it seems. Now, I think other trade centers should be able to trade anyways. Like a truly big boy trade center. A major one here should be able to trade. But I suppose this one is busy with other things. Yeah, it's just trading with the Philippines, it seems. Yes. I must actually pay more attention to this shit, because yeah, the reason it's able to trade with the Philippines, by the way, is because I have a line of provinces. If you're reading the actual description, it says that it can trade with. Well, I suppose the other trade center has to be important. I think is. Every sector in the same node, all sectors in the neighboring nodes, if this sector is coastal and is either the capital or the capital is on the same subcontinent. The capital sector can reach any coastal sector owned by the same country as long as it has an own province in each connecting node. Yeah. Any coastal sector owned by the same country. So in theory, it should be able to trade with that African area, but I suppose it just isn't, because it's better or easier to trade with, or more profitable to trade with the Philippines. There is some unresolved stuff. I don't know why. And once again, it might just be that the price, it just isn't profitable to do that kind of trade. So yeah, because that's why we have established this sort of trade network of individual provinces all along these nodes that border each other. With whether or not they border each other depends on whether or not one of these arrows flow between them. So that's why I haven't really bothered with shit up here, because I wanted to get to the Spice Islands, and this node then borders South Africa directly. So. And you can do trade, it doesn't matter which way the arrow is pointing, by the way, you can do trade both ways, which is why we are able to export delicacies to China and import from them, despite the fact that you wouldn't think that, in base EU4 you wouldn't be able to do trade back and forth like that, but obviously in the real world, which this is trying to be a more accurate representation of, back and forth trade like that is what is happening. So, yes, okay, yes. So yeah, if I want to do more trade with Inland Africa here, it really seems like I need to up my game and get more, a more important center of trade that's able to trade with other stuff. Although, once again, it should theoretically be able to do trade with, I suppose the issue is that this center of trade can't do trade with France, but France can do trade with it. Well, it would be interesting to build it up anyways, just to see how the trade flow changes. Although whether or not a bigger trade center here would actually, like, even if it becomes important, I don't actually know if that would be enough. Unless we got a straight up major one. But that would be a lot of work. Although I should be actually putting in some of that work. And I'll make sure these places get upgraded. And if I really want to be naughty, I could just declare war on the Africans here and burn down their stuff to try and make my stuff more competitive. But yes, I'll get to work doing all that. Building stuff, expanding my fuel production, and luxury productions just in France with cloth. And then I'll think about establishing a colony in Vietnam to try and, so that I can directly upgrade and more easily trade the local China ware and silk that I would delightfully want to have. Because I assume we are going, or we're doing just fine on exotics. I mean, I just looked at that and I'm already forgetting. Like, no, we're not actually producing enough exotics. That might be because the nobility is a bit borked in this particular version of the game. But it can be hard to tell. Ska vi se. Wage income, population, draft rate. That's their labor. This is their needs. But yeah, it doesn't tell you. It tells you how much how much needs are being fulfilled, I think, but it doesn't necessarily tell you if those needs are being adequately fulfilled. So you can see how much they're getting, but you can't actually see necessarily how much they want. At least I think that's how that goes. So yeah, that's Now once again, it can be hard to diagnose exactly why luxuries aren't being, or exotics aren't being supplied. I mean, it does say yeah, I need to go figure out what that unresolved thing actually translates to. If that just means that there isn't enough, if there just isn't enough commercial to do it, or if it's trying to do trade but it's not profitable. I don't know. All right, I'm running out of money now, but yeah, and there's still much to do. But I figured out this map mode, which gives us actually a pretty good idea of where we can build more forestries. Because a lot of the provinces don't have potential, because whether or not you can build a forestry actually depends a lot on, you know, surprise, surprise, whether or not the province actually has some forestry in it. Which is which is actually like a feature of this mod. There's an obscene amount of detail going on in the background. Which is awesome, of course. I mean, that's why fucking around with this stuff and learning about it and interacting with it is so much fun. So we're going to start with that now. I think we're going to need quite a bit more forestry. I need to go upgrade my coal mines too. Now, I don't actually know which one of those are more efficient, but having both options seem logical. Whether or not what's going to be profitable to export and import and such will depend on the world market. Although, of course, markets are local to an extent in this game. It's not like Victoria 2, where goods have a sort of international price. The price of a good depends entirely on the availability and supply in a certain sector, which in turn depends on the ability to trade with other sectors. A sector being a province is owned by the same nation within a trade node, for those who have for Gore. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I've opened up a whole bunch of new luxuries, invested a fuck ton in it. Probably gonna fuck up the wages, although a lot of that investment won't actually go into the luxury cloth, because you can't invest directly into one specific industry. Instead, you're going to need to invest in all type of industry in a certain province. It's one of the reasons, for example, if you have a gold province, that making sure you don't open up normal metal production in that province can be good, to make sure that only gold is being invested into, because metal can be acquired in a bunch of different provinces. But yeah, we can see Suitability. Oh, this is cool. This is interesting. You can see that they're actually growing potatoes in Europe now, which I'm pretty confident they didn't. Yeah, maize too. Millet, rice. I don't know why they're growing that, seeing the soil is not suitable for it, but yeah, forest land, you can see, yeah, forest land 1.7. And I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, forestry is currently, we have invested, wait, did I just invest into farmland, or is that a visual bug? Shit, did I just invest into farmland, not forestry? Let's hope that's not the case. Yeah, it says I invested into forestry here. Okay, well, might just be a bug then. But yeah, you can see the forestry is 26 or so out of 116, and we're investing an extra 10. So there's a lot of potential. But until actual workers show up to work in said forestries, you're not gonna get anything out of it, even if you do invest. But investing, of course, increases the size of the business, thus increasing the demand for labor, which in turn increases their wages, which in turn increases the desirability for people to move to the province, thus increasing the amount of people there. But it just takes time. This is why you can kind of screw up the economy by over-investing. But I've talked about that a bunch before. So I'm not 100%. I'm pretty sure we recently opened up luxury here. Yeah, you can see it's very small. Stability loss, okay. Luxury class 0, yeah. Okay, it doesn't show the investments anymore. Once again, I think that's gonna... Or maybe I didn't invest in this province, actually. I don't fucking know. Like, I certainly invested here, but this province already had a luxury cloth. Yeah, it doesn't... Oh, no, it shows the investment, yeah. Investment 50 in industrial. So hopefully some of that's going to go to the local luxury cloth production. And, yeah, our marble down here is going to... Well, I forget if it was that province exactly. But yeah, I'm going to work on this, going to do more forestries, and then I'll look into the New World, actually, and... Because I want to see if there are marble and other such potential luxuries in my colonies somewhere. Because marble seems to be a big and useful way to acquire luxuries if you can't access anything else. Also, let's annex Northumberland. Because I'm above my diplomatic relations limit. But yeah. I mean, tell me in the comments if you want more or less of this economic explanation. To be fair, you know, I'm only starting to really learn it, but I am certainly a lot more competent at it now than I used to be, even if my knowledge is rather surface level or rather than, you know, in depth. Also, I've been sending expeditions to Indonesia, and it's actually been successfully stealing provinces from the Majapahit guys. Which is good in the sense that I get new land, but it's bad in the sense that they despise me now and thus won't trade with me. So we can't import their stuff. And seeing as we actually need even more exotics, that's bad. But I still haven't figured out if it's a problem of us not being able to import enough of it. Or, I mean, and of course there are more sectors in the nation than just Paris, of course. And actually, yeah, might be an import problem. Because I used to have a really nice center of trade here, but okay, everything is being traded through this province for some reason. Despite the fact that it only has a minor center of trade. For example, you're getting luxuries from Pope, and that's about it, really. Yeah, so there's an unmet need here. And we are importing exotics from Paris. Yeah, so this is a... No, that... I don't actually think... I don't think this province would be able to import goods directly from the Philippines, even if it... if this sector is a coastal, is either a capital or the capital is on the same subcontinent as the central trade. The capital sector can reach any coastal sector owned by the same country. Or the capital is on the same subcontinent. Time to check subcontinents, I suppose. Right, okay, yeah, so any trade centers within this area should be able to buy directly from the Philippines if a sufficient trade center exists, but it doesn't. It's really just Provence I need to get, but whether or not we get a good trade center also depends on how well other trade centers are doing. And so there used to be a really nice one over here, I think, but it's, yeah, okay. Pretty sure this one used to be dominant or major, I mean. So working on building up a major one in this region seems super important. Same with something in the Low Countries here, because this is also in the subcontinent, and having the ability for my home area sectors being able to buy directly and not having to go via Paris sounds logical. Freeing up Paris to buy other shit, because it has to be the conduit for a lot of trade. Like getting trade to England, for example, is going to require it to go through Paris, I'm pretty sure. Although actually no, this one is importing from Bambouk and Jollof directly. And Ile-de-Bois. What the fuck is that? Oh, it's got those weird symbols on it, so it can be hard to tell. Boys. Okay, so it's buying shit from here. Because... Okay, and it's not importing anything, so it's just producing local cash crops. That's how it gets stuff. But yeah, that's not... Wait. No, wait, you can produce exotics? Yeah, the fuck, unless I'm fucking up a bit here. Exotics, yeah. Well, it says production 0. Well, maybe it has. Yeah, it has a stockpile of. It has a current stockpile of exotics. So I guess it has purchased exotics elsewhere. I mean, yeah, trade networks aren't permanent, of course. Where different sectors decide to buy their goods depends entirely on supply and demand and labor supply and, you know, shit like that. So while a useful tool to see where trade flows, it isn't the end or be all. What we as the player want to do is not necessarily micromanage exactly where trade goes. It is setting up good potential trade routes that can then facilitate the, you know, the AI, or I guess in this case, if we want to LARP, the actual burger pops to do their trading the best way they can think of it. Take down the Peruvians again, because I think I'm having a bit of an issue where my Peruvian colony isn't coring his stuff down here. I think he might not have range for it. I was allowed to take it because I had range, but I don't think he has, so hopefully this province will give him range. I could tag switch over to check, but I'm being lazy, so I'm just gonna see if this works. And sorry for this being an episode where I mostly just did a bunch of talking, but you know, I think it's interesting. But I do actually think I will end the episode here though. So thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye.